Over the next 4 programmes, John Bailey will be looking at a persistent national problem here at Eltham Green School in South London. He's come to help with a group of bright but underperforming Year 10 girls. The school's already working with the girls as part of a government scheme to improve their results. They've been meeting over the past year to try and raise their self-esteem.
First thing, please sit up and listen. Okay, I need you to listen to this because this is about you.
And while some staff have noticed a difference, others find the girls as challenging as ever, and their results are not improving.
There's no point sitting here and talking about all this because nothing ever changes anyway, it just gets worse.
John begins with a briefing from Deputy Head Jenny Gould.
They've had a year already, haven't they, of being identified.
Yes.
And we've done a lot of work on raising their self-esteem and learning about them, because they're representative of a bigger group in the school. And we haven't cracked yet, as a school, how to teach those girls. It's why they're underachieving such a lot. Because every one of those girls underachieved in their SATs. And, you know, and at the moment they're not fully engaged in their Year 10 curriculum.
That's the bone that we mustn't let go of then, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say all of them are behind with their coursework. And we have quite clear deadlines, and the head of Year 10 is chasing them up now. But all those girls owe coursework, and unless we crack it now, beginning of Year 10, I can see what will happen. It'll be worse and worse and worse, and then by the end of Year 11, when they should be revising, they'll be catching up with coursework. Okay. I suppose, yes, what we need is for all teachers to understand the kind of attitude that the teacher has to have, or the way that they have to teach in order to engage those girls.
Yeah. Easier said than done, as the Year 10 teachers find the girls undermining and morale sapping.
You know, the way they just shout out and the way they just... and the giggling today, when they just could not stop giggling at all. And just the volume of their voices when they're talking is, you know, all that kind of...
You know, when you say that's not acceptable, they think that you're so out of order for telling me not to shout or something. And you're like, well, you know, they become unnecessarily aggressive in response to your request for them just to be quiet or to not shout across the room or to not swear. Yeah.
Jess and Laura will work, but only when you're there.
Yes.
They need so much help. Yeah. But they can do it. It's just they need the reassurance of someone being there. It's trying to find a way that they'll work more independently,
To look at how
John needs to know how the teachers deal with the girls.
Okay, so if you'd like to make sure all your pieces of paper are inside your books.
Sally Jenkins is coming to the end of a lesson about Arthur Miller's A View from the Bridge. The girls' subtle subversion of her lessons is affecting her confidence.
Okay, behind your chairs, can you pass your books down to the end, please?
Where are we going now?
Okay, Lacey, Peter and Sean, I expect to see you at the end of the day, and Jerome, I expect to see you at the end of the day. Thank you. I thought the girls were generally pretty well behaved in comparison to normal, but just occasional, you know, refusals or comments.
I could see that they were very interested in each other. Is that a common feature?
Yes, definitely. So
I guess you have trouble with the seating plan.
So it's a bit difficult with the seating plan, and they're always doodling and distracting each other, and it's obviously as soon as you walk away, it's difficult to keep them on task.
And how does it make you feel?
How does it make me feel? Yeah. Like a rubbish teacher.
I think you will see that you've got real command in the classroom. At least I hope you see that.
Guys, can you come? Right, Lucy, thank you. Can you come? Ricky, get your gloves off before you come in, please. Laura, your place is here, remember? Before we move on, need you in your proper places, like I've said, Laura. And Lacey. Lacey. Lacey, can you move into your place, please? Right, listen, everyone. As you know, the first thing you do when you come in the room... Thank you, Laura. First thing you do when you come in the room is write the learning objective and the date into your book. So everyone should have their books open. I'll give you some paper. Lacey, I need you in your place. So I want you to copy out what's on the board, filling in the gaps with the words that are provided at the bottom. So pick the appropriate word and fill in the gaps as you copy. Okay? So while you're doing that, I'm going to come round and check that everyone is on task. Can you get that open, please, Jerome? Where's your pen?
And what do you think of that person that you can see there, that teacher? You.
I do seem calm and in control. I don't seem sort of like I'm flapping or that I'm easy to wind up or upset or anything like that. But I think that was quite a good lesson. Lacey, you have to move into your place, please, by the wall. Daniel, I need you to sit here, okay? So your place is here, and Lacey's there, okay? Sit here. Lacey, come on. Get down. Get your coat off, please.
Do you see there's nothing wrong with your authority in the classroom? And when you said you're in a bit of a crisis...
Well, I see that in that lesson,
what did you mean?
But they were calm in that lesson and there was no real confrontation or opposition. It was more just, you know, coaxing to get into the seat and distractions. I often have a lot more confrontational issues with those girls, particularly with Lulu and Laura. What did you say about Rodolfo? And also with Lacey, but often not so loud and vocal, but Laura and Lulu are particularly loud and vocal at times with their objections or challenging my decisions and my teaching, you know, saying, you're a shit teacher, you can't teach, this is rubbish, I want to go to another room.
Charming, aren't they?
We finished reading that book, yeah.
Well, we've finished reading the section we're going to read, and we've looked at a summary of what else happens.
First bit of the book, but she told us the ending of the book, so what happens in the middle.
No, I told you what happens for the rest of this place.
The whole book.
Huh?
We read the whole book.
Well, do you remember we had some problems with reading the whole book because we couldn't keep everyone quiet enough to read through it fast enough?
Yeah, but everyone helped reading. Everyone helped to read it.
I know, but there was lots of noise while we were reading, so we struggled with getting through it in time, and we have to move on to new things. I feel often like these girls are very super critical of me to the point where, you can't break down the barrier and become, singing from the same song sheet, be on their side. I remember what it was like to be that age, and I really, one of the main things about becoming a teacher is so that you can build positive relationships with young girls, help them see, good things about themselves, and to feel like they see you as a threat or an enemy or something that you really don't want to be and you don't feel like you are. It is sort of very upsetting.
But remember, they're teenagers. My hunch is that instead of going in the direction of becoming a quicker or sharper disciplinarian, I think on the sanction side, you're there, and I think on the instructions and command side you're there. I think I want to warm you up a bit with a bit more praise.
Lacey, at first Eddie attempts to be... Friendly. Or is he angry that she won't...
No, he's upset that she won't believe him.
OK, so he's upset that she won't believe him. Catherine is angry.
No, it's the other way round.
Eddie is shocked. Do you think that's right? How else could we have it? Peter, how else do you think we could have those three? Do you think he's more upset earlier on and angrier later, or angrier earlier on and upset later?
I think it should be Catherine is upset and argues with Eddie. He is angry that she won't believe him and asks Beatrice to sort her out.
Right, so you think Catherine's the one that's upset and Eddie's the one that's angry. OK, so that's what happens in this scene.
How long it is?
I know, it's nice and long, isn't it? Get your hand muscles going like mad.
One of the things that girls want, and I think probably all adolescents want, is a bit of affiliation. They want to know that they're liked.
It's what is that making like
Just a scarf. It's a band. OK.
John tries to get Sally to look at the approach of the teaching assistant, Tanya.
Look at these girls. They can socialise and work at the same time. But they're terribly interested in each other. She clearly enjoys the attention, doesn't she? There's just something about the way her head's moving. And who's this woman here? Who's the TA?
Tanya Roberts.
She's just getting into she's just doing a sort of slightly informal thing with her, isn't she? And she seems to be kind of engaging with it. And I think that they've got a little bit of a hunger for affection and that kind of affiliative side.
So just try and get as many written down as you can, and then we're going to discuss them all together.
What do you think about her?
About Lacey? As you said, you know, she's very, very interested in others around her, but she also does want to do well, because she will sometimes get on and do it, and if she didn't want to do well, then she wouldn't ever bother, I don't think.
Yes.
You know, and she does actually try and get things done. And I think that about a lot of them, really. Lulu, for example, I think she really wants to achieve, and she's very, very keen to show you when she's completed a task. But she will often also talk about not understanding a word you're saying, so you have to go over and spend time with her explaining it one-to-one, when it's clear that, you know, she could understand it if she was listening properly, you know. But you're right, they do want the attention, and I want to give them attention and help them, but it's very difficult to balance that with, you know, being with the rest of the class. Sit properly, or I'll be moving you away from the wall, so you have no option. Put your knees forward and sit properly.
Oh, well, I can't know now. It's not comfortable.
OK, now, looking at that sheet
I don't like that sheet.
and those quotations, I'd like you to match the quotations to the thing on the sheet. Can you do that, please? Yeah. I want to see you starting that.
And we've got to find a way of working with it rather than fighting it, because these girls' groups, they either affiliate against us or they let us in and they affiliate with us. And maybe a bit more warmth is the way to get them to affiliate with us.
As a teacher myself, overall, I feel like I'm getting worse.
I think you're probably getting more discerning.
I'm worried about my ability to actually get them retaining information, and how to actually teach in a way that they're retaining the information rather than just doing the task and forgetting about it.
Have you come across that phrase? I love it, dialogic approaches to teaching.
No.
Teaching approaches based around dialogue. And the idea is that at least half the talk in the room should be done by children. And the thing that I really have to drill into my head is that the teacher has as much to learn each lesson as the children do. And I was never quite sure what the hell that meant. But what it means is the teacher has as much to learn about the children during a lesson as the children do about the subject.
So you see both of you at the end of the day, 10 minutes for you to come back and do this task. Well, you can say no, but that's what I expect.
Because we're so concerned with controlling the room and getting them sitting there and delivering the stuff, it's so easy to forget that what we're meant to be doing is wrangling with them. We're meant to be putting up an idea and saying, OK, let's rinse it. You know.
I can get them quiet if they've got a task and they know exactly what to do and they're on it. But if it's a class discussion, the behaviour goes right downhill.
You know, do it a step at a time.
I'll be expecting that tomorrow, Laura, because I've marked the rest now and you're behind. Right.
What we're talking about now, about building affiliation with those girls, is a way of laying the basis for discussion with them and for making you feel better about the classroom as a whole, so that you feel more relaxed about having discussions with the class as a whole.
In the next programme, another teacher has different problems with the underachieving girls.